By the way, our next guest is loyal to craziness. Let's bring him on. Rob Parker. Rob Parker has been the anti-Patriot crusader for years.
Oh, me?
This is Rob Parker. Let's play the tape.
Uh-oh.
Let's play the tape. This is Rob before the Patriots went to Kansas City.
This is about Independence Day for NFL America. The reign of terror will finally be over. He hasn't won a road AFC championship game. They've lost their last three dating back to 2006.
Let me throw this at you. What if they do win?
I think I'm moving to Mexico.
So what was it like to watch the Super Bowl in Mexico?
Yeah, Cancun is nice this time of the year, for the weekend.
Do you know Tom Brady? And listen, Super Bowl, John Elway had a bad Super Bowl, Big Ben, Peyton Manning, Terry Bradshaw, Bob Greasy won a Super Bowl with 8 completions. It wasn't pretty, but Tom Brady is now, in all 6 Super Bowl wins, has had the game-winning drive in the 4th or overtime. That's amazing, isn't it?
It is amazing, but Tom Brady, as much as everybody wanted to make it about Tom Brady, this was supposed to be a coronation. He was going to have the 6 Super Bowl rings, win the MVP, and none of it happened. It was so bad. Tom Brady was so bad that what did they do? They had to give the MVP to a receiver who didn't even have a touchdown in the game. I mean, if that drive was so great, how did Tom Brady not wind up getting the MVP? Can you answer that?
Well, Edelman was sensational.
Yeah, but Brady, you just told me, led him to some game-winning drive for the Super Bowl.
Well,
Tom Brady's now won 2 Super Bowls where he threw a total of 1 touchdown. The first Super Bowl he threw 1, and this one he threw none. He looked more like Peyton Manning in 2015 when Von Miller gave him a Super Bowl as a parting gift. Tom Brady looked like a 41-year-old man. You know what? In fact, he looked like Bobby Brady throwing the ball that hit Marshall in the nose. That's what he looked like. It was more Peter Brady, I mean.
Now, let me say this, though. And I know that you have said he's the luckiest of all time, but would you at least acknowledge this, that in the last 3 games, you can make a very compelling argument the Chargers, the Chiefs, and the Rams had better rosters.
There's no doubt about it. But when I look at those, I also look at what the defenses did to all 3 of those teams. And this is not to say, I've said this to you before, Tom Brady's a great quarterback. He's the most accomplished.
Yes.
Okay? I'll give you that. But if I were to really take a look, I would still look at Joe Montana's resume compared to Tom Brady. And it's not just 6 championships.
But you're a Hall of Fame baseball guy, so numbers mean a lot to you, and that is your DNA. You're a baseball guy. You're a Hall of Fame voter.
No doubt about it.
And so you get into these mathy, 4 for 4, 6 for 6. I don't. I look at, to me, I didn't like math, and I love football over baseball, so football has never been about the numbers. It's been about the volume and the accomplishment. 2 decades. Think how great Jordan is. Jordan quit twice. Emotionally draining. Football is harder than basketball. Practice for football. I've played football. I hated football practice. Basketball practice is fun.
Right.
Wouldn't you acknowledge, in a sport where you get tackled, Tom Brady has won in the Deion Branch era, the Gronk era, the Corey Dillon era, the Edelman era. He's won with multiple players.
That's no doubt about it. And I get the longevity. I get the 2 dynasty streaks you want to say, but there was also a 10-year period where he didn't win a Super Bowl. I think everybody glosses that 10 years over, and Eli beat him twice, and a backup quarterback beat him last year. And then you had Jared Goff this year, who was a no-show, who was terrible. Again, that was the worst performance by a man in the mask since I just forgot who played Batman. I just blew it.
You had a great joke. And
I had a great joke. There it is right there. George Clooney played Batman. That's how bad it was. But I'm just saying, he's had a lot of things go his way.
Well, but I could also argue Tom has had 2 things not go his way.
He had 1 thing not go his way.
David Tyree.
All right, I'll give you that. That's the one where
yeah.
But you can't say Manningham didn't go his way. Manningham made a great catch.
Last year, he threw for 500 yards, and his defense didn't make a stop.
But he just won a Super Bowl on Sunday, and his defense was unbelievable and held a team to 3 points that averaged 33 points a game.
Yes.
So all I'm saying is you could average those things out.
So you thought the game was boring?
I thought it was a boring football game.
You told me how great the World Series was this year. It was over in 15 minutes.
No.
Wasn't even competitive.
It wasn't competitive.
The NBA Finals was a sweep. This game was tied in the fourth.
And here's the other part that was so interesting. And you could say it might be, is it Tom Brady fatigue? Is it Patriot fatigue? But here was a chance to watch a player win a 6th Super Bowl, and people opted out. The lowest ratings in 10 years. NFL ratings were up this year, Colin, so you can't tell me it's a TV trend.
I was telling Shannon
People
Sharp
turned over to the History Channel instead of watching this.
Listen, last year was a real choppy NFL season with a great Super Bowl. This year was a great season with a choppy Super Bowl. You know, last year, NBA, there was a lot of fascinating playoff stories. Celtics, LeBron goes 7 without Kyrie Irving. The Rockets have the Warriors in peril, and the finals was awful. You very rarely get great regular season. This year, I thought college football had a bad regular season and a bad championship. The year before, I thought it had a great championship game a couple years ago with Clemson, Alabama, and the season wasn't as good. You never get everything. So it was a great NFL season. It was not a dynamic game. Could I argue this? The Super Bowl isn't about guys like me who love football. It's about my sister who doesn't watch anything but the Super Bowl.
No doubt about it. So the casual fan shows up and they watch.
And a lot of the casual fans were like at halftime bailed on it, and that's okay. That does nothing.
But you're not surprised at a 10-year low? I mean, that's an unbelievable. And I know there's some other extenuating circumstances. New Orleans, they were out on the Super Bowl.
Right, so that's 7,
there's no doubt about it. They were out. But I'm still saying, here's a chance to watch a piece of history, and people opted not to watch it. Was it Brady? Was it the Patriots? And NFL America hasn't fully embraced this Patriot dynasty that people try to say has been 19 years in the running. What does that say? That tells you something about it.
Well, some of their Super Bowls have been very, very highly watched and entertaining, and that's just okay.
And it's not just jealousy, because I know that's what the Boston people
jealousy is a big component to it.
Not all jealousy.
A lot of jealousy. Okay, so I was saying this. I love the NBA, and again, I think I'm a football guy at my core. You're a baseball guy at your core, but we like the NBA, and there's a lot of drama.
I covered the NBA since 1987.
A lot of fun.
Absolutely.
I've been watching it since I was a kid. I like the NBA a lot. And there's a lot of drama and a lot of soap operas. This Laker thing, from what I'm told, 24 hours ago, I thought it was going to happen. This morning and late last night, I thought it's not going to happen. Here's my thing. The Lakers are offering to swallow a terrible contract, Solomon Hill, give him 8 players and picks, and it doesn't look like the Pelicans want to make a move until the trading deadline. It feels a little bit now. Am I wrong on this, Rob? The Lakers are getting desperate here. 8 picks and players swallowing horrible contracts? As Joy made a great line earlier, she said, that's what you do to get LeBron. Forget Anthony Davis.
But that's where they are. Absolutely. The Lakers are desperate because they know the clock is ticking on LeBron. They need to win next year. If they don't win, Colin, he's not going to win in year 3 or 4, so they know this. Here's the other bad part, and this is where I've always said Lebron has ruined the NBA. Look at where we are. Look at where we are, okay? So now this trade doesn't go down on Thursday, and you're saying you're hearing that
it's not going to now. Now, that may change.
What happens to the teammates that he's already put out there that he doesn't want? LeBron came in. Magic has no choice. He's stuck with LeBron, and now how do you welcome those guys back to finish out this season? This season will be a loss.
No, this is a very good point. I'm glad you brought that up. This is your first really solid point.
Oh, really? Can I come back?
That now that everybody's name's been out there, everybody's name's in the paper, is that if the trade doesn't go down, how do you walk back in that room, and how are you won? It is a complete mess if the trade doesn't go down. And Magic, by the way, they're desperate now because, again, LeBron doesn't forget it. LeBron and these star players in the league, Harden, Kawhi, they bake in 12 misses a year. Like, I'm taking the night off.
Right.
And that's after the NBA has said no more back-to-backs, very few back-to-backs. So I think that's a great point. If this trade doesn't go down, that locker room's a mess.
It's a mess.
A lost season.
And even when you look at Anthony Davis, it's as great as he is, and he's a great player, he's not even the perfect match for LeBron. Yeah. That's where we are with this league. He's not even a perfect match, but they're so desperate. There's nobody else out there. They're looking around to say, well, who else possibly? There's nobody there. He's going to wind up being Chris Bosh, and this is why he's more of a pawn than anything in the whole LeBron situation. Colin, if LeBron was to deliver a championship in Los Angeles with Anthony Davis, it would be about LeBron. And when they don't lose, it's going to be about Anthony Davis, that he wasn't good enough.
If they don't win,
they don't win. And then he's going to be Chris Bosh, who was an all-star, 21-12 in Toronto, who's a third option sitting on the three-point line. Just think about where Anthony Davis is taking his career, and it's a mistake. Kevin Love was a star in Minnesota. He was a third option in Cleveland. He's left for ruin.
Chris Bosh was a star in Toronto.
Both of those guys were in their respective teams.
No, I always said what works with LeBron, I've seen it happen, is shooters. He can take a marginal player like J.R. Smith or Kyle Korver. They're great with LeBron. Love, Bosh, and Anthony Davis, big guys get marginalized. You become sort of, you kind of, because LeBron wants to control the ball. And you'll get it, but you'll get it on LeBron's terms. And increasingly, he wants you out so he can drive the lane and score.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, this is a disaster. Everybody's so desperate for LeBron to get his guy. And this is what I mean when I talk about the league being ruined. We're at that point now where they can't do this trade right now because they should wait until the summer. You know why, Colin? Maybe the Knicks get the first-round pick, and they have Zion Williamson to trade, right? There's a possibility. Maybe something happens in Boston where they're willing to take a chance. You will have more suitors then. And this Laker trade, this desperation Laker trade, will be waiting for you in the summer as well. They're that desperate. They need another player next year, so they don't have to jump at this. If you're in New Orleans, you just had the worst sports week you could ever imagine. You had the Saints get job. Now your best player in the NBA wants out of town. And there's mouse hair in your gumbo. Nothing's working out for you. It's just a bad week. Sorry, Joy.
You know, Joy, he brings a lot of energy to the show.
I mean, I'm struggling to say this, but I think I agree with him about Chris Bosh.
Do you agree?
No,
I think that Anthony Davis makes the Lakers much better. They need a star.
Yes.
It's not a knock on Anthony Davis.
Right.
It's just that he's not enough. With everything that they're giving away, he's not enough. You need Anthony Davis, and you need multiple shooters. You don't just need one shooter. You need multiple shooters.
But that's how desperate they are.
You're going to get rid of your entire young core and all these picks, and you still need more help.
Yeah, you're addicted to crazy, but you made good points today.
Thank you. I feel good today.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.